Hello artists! In today's video we'll be painting this intuitive watercolor landscape beach scene, and I will be also showing you a couple of other of my landscape sketches, so if you like the sound of it, keep watching the video. So I wanted to share with you a couple of my landscape sketchbook practices lately. I did all of these in one session, so just ignore the one on the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I did them all in one session because I just wanted to get into the flow of landscapes, and I wanted to look at a reference and just paint intuitively using all the knowledge and all the skills that I have learned about watercolor, mostly from florals, into my landscape painting. So in this video, in this YouTube version, I will be sharing with you the tutorial of this one here, which is actually my favorite. It's a beach scene with some beautiful sort of sunset kind of skies. And if you're interested in learning how to paint all of them, you need to check out my Patreon. It is actually one of my Inner Circle Patreon videos. And I'm also working on a bigger landscape course. It's going to be a fully in-depth landscape watercolor course. So sign up to my mailing list if you want to be updated about that one. That's going to come out in June this year, June 2026. But in this video, you will be getting to tutorial of this one, just to give you a taster of how I approach landscapes in a very loose, effortless, intuitive way. So with that said, let's get started on this video straight away. Starting with my 1/2-inch flat brush and my landscape watercolor palette, and I will be flashing the reference photo really quickly here on the screen. And if you want it to really have a good look of it, you need to get onto my Patreon. I'll link my Patreon link below in the description. But yeah, let's just get started on this. So I'm grabbing some brown. I believe it's just a mixture of burnt umber with a flat brush. I use a flat brush for most of my paintings, at least the first layer, because I just like how the flat brushes can create these kind of like really cool angular type textural lines. So I'm using my flat brush to make these sort of like sweeping left to right thin lines to depict the sand and the textures I see in the foreground. So I'm using now a dabby kind of method for the little footprints or shadow prints, and I have some dirty green in there as well. And this dirty green is actually meant to be a bit of that shadowy part of the sand, not really any grass. I'm dropping in some quinacridone gold into the left-hand side because in my reference photo, it's got that sunset feel. So I want to create that sunset feeling on the grassy bits with some quinacridone gold. Okay, now for the sky, I am just dropping in some light blue at the top, and I'm dragging it down also in the same left to right horizontal line-ish kind of way. I'm mixing up now a little pink because I really want to capture that pink sky that I see in the reference. So my sky is blue. My sky is actually dry. So I'm using wet on dry here. Sometimes I do wet the whole sky before putting in color, but for this painting, I wanted to experiment what it would be like to just almost treat the sky as simply a canvas for blue and pink and white to play and mingle with each other. And when you mix pink and blue, you get this gorgeous purple that also you see in the reference. I'm using cerulean blue for my main blue, but I also have Prussian blue. All right, so now I am putting in very strong Prussian blue right for my little sliver of ocean that I see in the reference. I think that's a nice strong line to put, and it's really my center, my focus, the center of focus. And my horizon line is kind of like dead center in the middle of this painting, which is, you're not meant to put your horizon in the center, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's totally fine to just break these rules. So I am just putting more textural, sort of dabby little bits, because in my reference photo, the sand has a lot of texture, and I'm just making it up, really. I'm just making things up as I go. And then now, with most of the base already done, while everything is still a bit wet, I am trying to just put in as much depth as I can with darker colors. So I'm putting some Prussian in the sky, letting the bits of the sky mingle and meet, and let some of the colors bleed into each other, but leaving a decent amount of white space to make sure there's, the clouds. So I want to be very, very light with this painting. So I let it completely dry, and now we are going in with the next layer. So in this next layer, I'm using my smaller round brush. I believe it is the Silver Black Velvet. And I really want to just be very light with this. So grabbing some burnt sienna with a bit of red, I am now just painting in the leaves, weeds, the very dried grass, that's right, the dried grass bit that's on the bottom left-hand corner of this composition. It's so nice to put in some details when we do landscape, and usually things that are in the foreground, for example, closer to you, will be a little bit more detailed, and then you can go in with like more, it's closer to you, it's bigger, it's so you can just go in with more detail. So I'm just using the tip of my small Silver Black Velvet round, I think it's a size 4, to paint in the little grass as well, using some green, sap green. And I'm just looking at the composition and following the composition. I'm adding all the grassy bits where I see them on this beautiful coastal beach. I do say that I get very impatient, and I don't like to wait for things to dry. But when I do go in with the second layer like this, it feels extremely satisfying, because you're just, making something more complete. So the grass that's further away need not be as detailed. So it can be just little marks, just very, very light marks of olive green. And I made it a little bit darker even, dropping a bit of sepia and burnt umber into the greens to make it a tad darker now. Yeah, so now I have my size 1/2 inch flat Silver Black Velvet brush, which I don't use very much. I don't know, it just happened to be there. You don't have to use this particular one, but I am just going in with another layer of very light brown, almost like footprints. Actually, yes, they are footprints if you look at the reference photo. Just here and there. And then just going in with small horizontal lines, more intuitive lines, more grass, and just slowly build up until you feel like you have enough. Looking at this composition now, I'm really happy. I've got my dark values, the dark leaves, the dark ocean ahead of me, and I've got my really light marks of shadow, sand prints, and my sky is also very, very gentle. It's not too attention grabbing. And less is more always in watercolor, especially in landscapes, and especially if you're trying to simplify something from a complex photo. I am quite happy with the composition as well, with the two things that are flanking, the two bits of grass on the left, on the right. I feel like everything feels very well balanced. And I left a lot of white space in the foreground. Like I could have gone in and painted the whole sand a beige or a yellow ochre, but I chose to leave it white. Okay, now I'm just going in with some Neo Color 2s. That's a cobalt blue, and I've got some pink. You don't have to do this, but I just thought it would be fun to add a bit of interesting textures to add to the sky. So this one little painting is part of a 4 painting tutorial that is in my Patreon. It sits there. It's under the inner circle tier, which you also get to paint live with me once a month. And yeah, I'm really excited to share all my landscapes with you through my course, through my Patreon. So if you're interested in learning and going deeper with me, Crystal Tan Art, go check it out. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.